The haunting beneath the banyan tree. The story goes like this. There are many incidents in our life that etch themselves into our memories, never to be forgotten. One such incident happened to me many years ago when I was a young lad. Back then, cell phones were a distant dream and communication was much simpler. My name is Daniel and I was in high school at the time. One evening, my two friends and I decided to catch a late night movie in a theater situated 5 miles away from my village. After the film, while my friends headed home, I found myself alone with the daunting task of walking the 5 miles back. My father's vehicle had broken down, but as a fitness enthusiast, I didn't mind the walk back. The first 2 miles were manageable thanks to the city lights. However, as I ventured further into the night, the road became eerily quiet with street lights flickering and eventually failing altogether. The road was deserted. No people, no houses, just an oppressive silence. I was not overly concerned until a heavy rain began to pour down. Desperately seeking shelter, I noticed a faint light like a cigar flickering in the distance. As I drew closer, I saw a huge banyan tree with a small hut beneath it and a figure sitting outside puffing on a cigar. I ran towards the hut, hoping for refuge from the storm. Inside the hut, I found an elderly couple. I explained my situation and pleaded with them to let me stay until the rain stopped. The couple, despite their rich clothing and refined appearance, seemed peculiar. They spoke very little. The old woman merely nodded in acknowledgement. I asked the old woman for a towel to dry off, but she simply replied, "Our children didn't give us any." Her response puzzled me, but I chose not to press further. I then asked for some water, only to receive the same cryptic response, that is, "Our children didn't give us any." I inquired about the lack of lighting and the state of the hut, to which she replied, "The light won't reach us." A growing sense of unease settled over me, but I tried to dismiss it as eccentricities of old age. Outside, the old man continued to smoke his cigar, undeterred by the relentless rain. It struck me as odd that he could maintain a light cigar in such weather. While I was waiting for the rain to stop, the old man is just smoking outside. I wonder for how long the cigar is still burning and it's still the same at the same length. I just turned my head away from the old man to the opposite side. Suddenly, the old man appeared before my face. I was shocked and shouted in fear, "Ah!" The man, with a grim smile on his face, asked, "Frightened?" I didn't answer, but was wondering how could he come this fast beside me. He asked me whether I wanted a cigar. I refused to take it. The old man sat on a big stone and asked all about me and my family. I was saying that I came from a poor background and my father is not able to provide me with all the benefits that my fellow students are having. While I was saying, the old man's face turned pale and became furious, turned his face towards the old woman, and suddenly left outside the hut smoking cigar. Confused and frightened, I was looking at him. I am wondering how could he not become wet. I thought of leaving the place and decided to walk in the rain. Suddenly, a thunder struck the ground outside the hut with a loud rumbling noise. I got frightened and lost the idea of leaving the hut. Surprisingly, I could not find the old man again. It was like he vanished. Fear is filling inside my heart. I am slowly losing my courage. I was praying, for the rain to stop. The old woman then lay down on a large stone in the corner of the hut. With a bit of hesitation, being tired, I decided to sit on it. But as soon as I did, she kicked me away with surprising force and shouted, "Don't sit on my grave!" I was thrown backward almost 6 feet away from the stone, shocked by the woman's strength and the words, "My grave." What is she saying? My eyes shifted towards the old man. Right in front of my eyes, he turned into shadow rather than a living person. The raindrops were passing through his body as if the drops were falling on a thick smoke. Then I realized that the couple are not ordinary people. I decided to run away and I woke up. Suddenly, the door to the hut slammed shut behind me. The interior plunged into darkness and the old woman disappeared from view. I pounded on the door, shouting for help, but my cries were swallowed by the storm outside. The only sound that pierced the darkness was the old woman's anguished cry. Ooh. Terror gripped me. I could feel the sweat on my body despite the cold. The cries of the old woman grew louder, her voice filled with sorrow. I begged for release, apologizing for intruding and promising never to return. In the pitch black room, the old man's face suddenly appeared before me, still smoking his cigar. I pleaded with him, shouting, "You children are all the same." The smoke from his cigar enveloped me, and I closed my eyes in desperation. When I opened them again, the room had fallen silent. The old man was gone, but the thick, suffocating smoke remained. I woke up and went near the door, trying to open it. All of a sudden, the smell of the cigar struck my nose and became more strong. I inhaled. I turned back with my head shaking. All of a sudden, the smoke turned into faces of the old couple and shouted. I fainted and collapsed on the floor. I don't know how long I lay there, but when I regained consciousness, the first light of dawn was breaking. I found myself lying between two graves beneath the banyan tree. The hut disappeared. My clothes were dirty and I was parched. A passing paper boy stopped to help me. When I recounted the nice event, he told me the graves belonged to the elderly couple I had encountered. Their children had abandoned them in their final days, taking everything from them, leaving them in a small hut. Though I was feeling fear, I felt pity for the couple. With a heavy heart, I visited the grave again a few days later, bringing flowers to pay my respect. Later, I left my village for finding a job that suits my education. Even now, whenever I return to my village, I make it a point to honor the memory of the old couple with a bouquet of flowers. This story serves as a chilling reminder of how, even in the darkest of times, the echoes of the past can still reach out and touch those who wander too close. Adios, amigos. We'll meet you again with another chilling story. Please do remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Bye.